it didn't just stop there. It was at other people's houses too and things of that nature. So it kind of felt like, I don't know, I couldn't escape him. Like, I guess he felt like he owned me, and it just,
you're safe right now. You're in a safe space. No one is here to hurt you. We got you. Welcome back to Macy VTV. I am Macy Vessel. Macy VTV is a brand to give people a platform to share their truth and talents. And today with me, I have Ken. How are you?
I'm doing well, Macy.
So tell the viewers a little about yourself that you would like us to know.
I'm originally from Macomb, Mississippi, and I moved down to Hammond before I graduated, and I moved here.
So y'all, this segment is probably the most important segment that we've had so far. Ken is actually a rape survivor. So can you take us back to the week before it happened?
The week before it happened? Okay. The week before it happened was like the week that I moved in. Because the backstory behind it was I was in Mississippi at the time. I was in 5th grade, I think. Yeah, 5th grade, because when I moved back, it was... So it was 5th grade, and this was my first time ever like really moving somewhere of like me knowing about it, because usually I moved when I was like smaller, so as a kid you really don't remember moving.
Some things,
yeah, but this time it was like full conscience and everything like this. So we were about to move to North Carolina because my mom and her best friend at the time, my mom wanted to get somewhere new. She wanted more opportunities and things like that, so she thought North Carolina was the best place to go. So we moved to Durham, North Carolina with her best friend, and we moved in with them. And it was like, everything was cool, I was excited, but also kind of sad, but I was more excited because it was like a new place, to...
New beginnings.
Yeah, to reinvent yourself and things like that. And so I was really looking forward to it. And then it was like, as I'm moving in, she has 3 kids of her own. So it was like, I was like, cool, I already got people that I can be friends with, I always had this kind of mindset as a kid of networking, like, if someone... you get friends with other people and things like that. So it's always been kind of like that with me. And, and at that time, I wasn't as, comfortable as I am now. So I was very shy and reserved. So making friends was very imperative to me because it was just something I needed because I didn't have that. Yeah. And so I thought being here would be that. Like the oldest, he went to a different school, and her 2 youngest, I went to school with them. So I was like, okay. But, the oldest was the person that I clicked with more because, we had the same interests. And
was it a boy or a girl?
It was a boy. So we had the same interests and things of that nature. And so I was, like, really, like, excited about becoming friends with him. Him being older, I was like, having older friends. That's cool. As a kid, like, oh, my friend.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I was a real people pleaser.
So that week was good.
Yeah, that was a good week,
So the day of the incident, how was that day?
It was in the morning, actually. Because prior to that night, it was like an incident already kind of happened. The person who did it was the oldest son.
So it was somebody that you trusted?
Yeah. That was kind of like, that what really messed with me as a young kid at a young age, to have someone that I trusted and that I was, just to do that to me, it was kind of a lot.
So you said the incident, a kind of incident happened that night. So what happened that night?
We were, we all had to share a room because, my mom, she had to have a room, and I had a little sister who moved up there with me because my mom has 3 kids. It's me, I'm the oldest, then it's my younger brother and my little sister. So my little sister moved up with us, and my brother stayed back because he wanted to stay with his grandmother. So it was just us, and my mom took the room, the oldest son room, so we all slept, because we're boys,
Y'all slept in one room.
We all slept in one room, even though it stunk so bad. Oh my gosh, they had a pet rabbit who just could not stop pooping. Horrible. But, it was boys, so, he had an air mattress, so I slept on the air mattress with him, and, he would kind of like...
Touching on you?
Yeah, and I was like...
I wasn't thinking really much of it.
I was like...
Yeah.
But I was like, hold on.
It didn't seem right.
It didn't seem right at all, but I was like, okay. And then boom, that morning when I woke up, it's just when, hell just broke loose.
So if you were comfortable enough, like, okay, so you woke up.
Yeah, I woke up, to a certain genitalia in my mouth.
So you weren't even fully awake.
I was not even fully awake.
So what woke you up?
What woke me up was, you can feel.
Yeah.
So I just was like,
what is going on?
Yeah, really like, what?
So what was your initial reaction when you woke up and realized what was actually going on?
I was kind of in panic, but then again, I was like scared also because it's like, it didn't help the fact that there was no one there. So I was like, what really can I do? And he's older than me, stronger than me. What possibly could I do?
So what was he doing when he was, basically putting it, how was he looking? Like, what was his actions?
Like, it was amusing to him at the fact that I was shocked. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And so it's just very much like that. And it just started on, it just got worse after that.
So it was more than once?
Yeah. It was.
So after the first time, did you tell anybody?
No.
And why didn't you tell anybody?
Because I felt as though it was just like, I don't know.
You didn't trust anybody?
I really didn't. And then it was just the simple mathematics is I was more scared of him getting in trouble.
So you were trying to protect him?
Yeah.
But he was hurting you at the same time?
Yeah.
So you said it got worse?
Yeah, it got way worse because it started off as that, and then eventually it was him being, more forceful, and it would have been like the first time he tried to ever like really go inside me, like type thing. It was like the worst pain I ever felt in my life, and I remember just like getting out of the room and running to the bathroom and just seeing the blood. It just terrified me. Then going to school, it was like using the bathroom.
It hurted.
Yes, and like constantly just seeing blood. It was just like, and then it just progressively just got more worse and worse. He got more demanding, more controlling, and it was like we played hide and seek a lot, and it was more a terrifying thing. Like whenever it was him being it, because it was always me being targeted instead of everyone else. When it could be like 15 different people playing,
he will always find you.
Yes, I don't know how, but it always just been like that. And he would get angry whenever I would just be around other males that are like friends of ours and stuff like that, because
jealous.
Yeah.
So what was he really? Do you know why he was actually jealous? Because y'all were looked at as brothers. Why is he getting,
I don't even. I can't even say myself. Honestly, it was just. I guess he felt like he owned me, and it just,
So what was the age difference again? How old were you when this was going on?
I was 11.
And how old was he?
Like 14.
Like 14.
15, 14, 15. He was in high school.
Okay. So it continuously got worse. Do you remember the time it was the worst?
The worst was we were playing around in the house. At this time, like of the fame. I don't know if you remember, but at this time it was like a famous YouTuber. His name was Delano.
I feel like I know.
Delano and Nectarine. It was like we used to watch their videos. It used to be so funny. So
it rings a bell.
So I used to, they had like this one particular like type of he had this one particular YouTube video where it was like they had a rap battle. So I would be rapping I was never rapping the female character.
And he was the male.
Yeah, and then it was like, we started like freestyling, and I guess my freestyle was just hot, and
he got mad.
Yeah, and it just like we turned into fighting, and he really did like almost choke me out, and I was crying and screaming for help, and his younger brothers was like downstairs, and I'm just like,
nobody can hear me.
Nobody really can hear me, and it's just I feared for my life. Then one night I was like, and it just, it didn't just stop there. It was at other people's houses too, and things of that nature. So it kind of felt like, I don't know, I couldn't escape him. Like, his friends were my friends, so
y'all always have to be around each other.
yes, this like the worst part about it is that we was always around each other and nobody knew, and I couldn't tell nobody, so I just felt alone.
So how many times would you say it happened?
I can't even.
Do you think it was over 20?
It wasn't over 20. It was more
10?
Yeah, and it's just.
Yeah. You need a hug?
I don't feel it. Okay. This is gonna be kind, but it's just.
You say, give me a hug. I got you. It's okay. It's okay. You're safe right now. You're in a safe space. No one is here to hurt you. We got you.
Yeah. It's just, at that point in time, I felt the weakest that I've ever felt. And it's just, I vowed, like, after we moved, that I would never let anything like that ever
happen to you again.
Yeah, but, like, the part that just, it kind of hurted me more because it was scary. I didn't tell her because, I was scared of him, but also, I made sure that it was happening only to me because I had a little sister. And, like,
you would never want that to happen to her.
Yes, and it's like, that was my biggest fear, so it was like, I dealt with it and put up with it because,
You want to be the strong one.
Yeah, because I would rather him do it to me than him to
do it to
my little sister. And it's just like, it kind of ruined our relationship because I had to be so mean to her. Like, whenever she wanted to come out and play with us, I
told her no.
Yeah, I made her stay in the room. I felt horrible, but it had to be done. It just had to be done.
So fast forward, when you first told somebody, how did you feel, and who did you tell?
The first person I told was actually my cousin. I think, yeah, it was my cousin. It was one night. We usually do this thing where at nighttime we just have confessions and get stuff off our chest because that's like my best friend. And he was like, I never wonder like why you came back with this attitude because I don't know. I guess my guard had kind of came up a little bit, and because I wanted to be so strong, I grew an attitude, and I just became this person that was just really willing to fight anybody. And it was like the littlest
thing would tick you off.
The littlest thing would tick me off, and I'd be ready to fight. And so it was like, why is your attitude like that? And things like that. I was like, well, and I told him about it, and he couldn't say anything. And at the first, I felt a little relief. And I was like, but like,
yeah. So did you actually feel like a weight was lifted off your shoulders?
A little bit. It kind of helped me talk about it because I'm so used to just keeping it to myself.
So do you think that kind of went into your sexuality?
No, not really. Like, that was my biggest thing with my mom. That's why we had a big falling out. But I knew I was gay at a young age, so it really wasn't like nothing. And with so much trauma and stuff, at one point in time, I felt like I was supposed to like it because I am gay.
Yeah.
And I had to really sit back and be like, nobody deserves that at all. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
But with my mom, it just, I had to, when I told her, it ruined our relationship because she was more concerned whether or not I was gay and less concerned about whether or not I'm okay. Because I didn't even tell my mom. She found out because of my grandmother. Because I told my grandmother, because my grandmother is a pastor. And she told us her story at one of her Bible studies. And it was like,
I'm not alone.
I'm not, yeah, and like I was able to tell it to her so easily because she understands what happened and that feeling of being alone where you can't tell no one and you just have to deal with all the internally.
Yeah, and you keep it inside. So how are you mentally now?
Mentally now, I'm okay. That caused a lot of challenges with me, but now I say I'm personally getting over them because at first, out there have been not a big person of like physical touch. I don't like people touching me. Yeah, I don't like people touching me, and I have a hard time sleeping around people that I don't know.
I remember at the mental health segment you said you don't like having roommates. Did it get better?
Yeah, it's gotten better now, but like it was worse back then. But it done got better now, and it's like, I don't know. That's like she said. I don't know.
You feel like you should know what you said.
But it was like, it just gave a lot of challenges to me and things like that. Young age, you don't know what depression is, and then black people don't talk enough about depression, especially parents, because they feel as though you're a kid, you don't have no responsibility, so what are you sad for? And that's just another thing that ties back to how me and my mom relationship just really fell off. But it done got back good now. Yeah. But and then when I came out to her, she brought it up, and I was like, no, I don't want you to think of, because of this situation is the way I am now. Yeah. Because, I knew before. Yeah.
So, did you and your abuser ever, like, sit down and talk after the times you were abused?
I mean, like, he would act like it never happened. And then 30 minutes later, I'm in the bathroom just brushing my teeth, trying to go to sleep. Yeah. He come in, I'm just like, can I
have my privacy?
Yeah. And it's just,
So now you're older, you can fight back now.
Yeah, I can fight back now, because then I was just, I was very skinny, I was small, I was very
like a scrawny little kid.
I was very much thick, and then I think that also tied into like how I got eating disorder, and from the depression of that, I just started eating more, and that's when I gained weight, and
So before we wrap up this segment, I always have two questions for my guests. One, did I touch base on everything that you would like have to discuss?
Yeah.
And two, is there any advice you would like to give to the audience, the viewers who may, have got raped or sexually assaulted or anything?
I know it may be scary and you may not want to tell no one and you may feel embarrassed or just, but talking about it helps. Like those nights that you just really in disbelief when you laying in the bed, you need someone, and it's like you don't have to always be strong. It's okay to cry sometimes, but
I know you don't like touching, but
it's okay. I'm not. It's like physical touch, like from friends, like hugs and things. It's cool and all, but it's like.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you everyone for watching Macy BTV. I hope one of you all can relate to his story and be able to just hit me up or can if you ever need advice, and see you next time.